But now the bigger problem is how should the Pakistani ambassador to US should look like? I mean, not in that sense look like, but meaning what type of resume or a CV he should have. Should he have the blessing of Pakistan military establishment? Should he have the blessing of Pakistan's democratic sitting government? Should he have a good relations with Americans, and especially American think tanks, American policymaker? All of that needs to be worked out. And I guess if that is so, then they need to look for somebody like this. This is in my opinion, because interests are not converging. I think Misbah Sahib, you have something to say.
I actually just one thing.
Go for it. No,
sorry.
I was going to come to you.
Yeah. So one thing is, there are certain things American establishment knows very well. If they decide to work with Pakistan, suppose they know that the person who is not kind of a blue-eyed boy of the military establishment there is no use to talk to them. And second thing is that what is the powers of the civilian government, who runs the policy, defense and foreign policy, they all know that. So they will not work with Ali Siddiqui unless the military shows their backing to him.
Yeah, I mean, so the criteria is very simple. Military establishment's backing, good relations with American think tanks, and knowing how the policy making dynamics works in the US, and then ideally having a good relations and a confidence of a democratic setup in Pakistan. So these three are, I think, the key criteria, and then obviously it has to have some political science or diplomatic background.
And only some general.
Actually, see, the other thing is on the background thing. I might disagree with you with a little, not necessarily, but he has to have at least personal political skills and be able to navigate. See, the other thing is we keep talking about having the ear of the establishment and having at least decent relations between the military establishment and the political establishment. But on the other hand, I think some of the more effective ones, or at least the most interesting ambassadors, have been people who can juggle them, not just one or the other, but can juggle two or three things. I mean, most famously, Hussain Haqqani Saab, immediate past or two ambassadors ago, had a very interesting tenure. I always saw him as...
10 years? No.
Tenure, yeah. So I always saw him as being sort of a personal representative for the then president of Pakistan. And he was in a very sensitive position, the president, because it was a new democratic setup. He was trying to, by some tellings, he was trying to hold the country together, basically. And therefore, he needed someone in DC that he could trust or had his full confidence. And the other thing I want to put on the table, which in this scheme of things is not that important, is we also want, as overseas Pakistanis, we want our ambassador to be effective, to know bureaucracy, to make the embassies and the consulates run properly. Because